What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Hunter here. Welcome back to another banger. Or the famous intro, YouTube. That's the intro that we always do on this channel. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to another banger of today's video. So today's segment, y'all, we're gonna be discussing all kinds of things. You know what I mean? One of the things that I really want to talk about in particular is how like hospitality kind of set me up for success, and why working in hospitality is one of the most beneficial things to do. So if that sounds good to you and you're a fellow hospitality worker watching this video, stick around because we got a lot of sauce to talk about in today's video. So let's get into it. All right, so one of the main reasons why I say that hospitality is a pretty solid career in my opinion is because if you are an introverted person and you always struggle talking to people in your life, or not saying being an outgoing person, but knowing when to set yourself up in social situations. Because I believe that as us introverted people, there's some of us out there that have the ability to do both. You know what I mean? It's also known as quiet confidence, if I'm not mistaken. You know, a man that's stoic or alpha or whatever you guys want to interpret it, just being a man, you know what I'm saying, and being to himself, like minding his business, comfortable who he is as a person at the end of the day, and knowing what he's here to do on this planet. You know what I'm saying? All of us men nowadays, we got to pursue our purpose. You know what I'm saying? We got to do what we got to do to take care of shit in this life, you know, into the system, you know what I mean, that's really set up for trying to set us up for failure. But I do believe that there is a way out of this. So that's why I'm making this video about hospitality. All right. So that's one of the main reasons, is because the social aspect of it is the best part, because it's going to force you to talk to people. You know what I mean? At some point you're gonna have to say something. You're gonna have to force yourself to talk to customers, right? So that could be I'm in restaurant in particular, right? But whether you're in front desk service at hotel, restaurant, nightclub, whatever, there's a lot of benefits. And we're gonna get to point number 2 now with this. This is the remastered version, by the way, of my hospitality video that I made a while back. So if I can find that video, and if I decide to find it within my buried videos, I'll link it in the description down below for you guys to check out. This is basically the remaster. Is the networking, okay? So part of the social part of forcing you to talk to people, you know what I mean, is the networking part. You never know who you're gonna talk to, you know what I mean? That's one of the craziest things that I learned in life. The more you treat like the customers with respect, you know, when it comes to customers, when it comes to guests, you're not always gonna have a thank you, you're welcome, you know what I mean? And it's okay. That's just part of life. This is how people are nowadays. But in 2026, goddamn, this freaking bug throwing me off here. All right, man, you can go somewhere. As I work. So what I was saying, yeah, the networking part, right? So that's one of the other great benefits about the job, is you never know who you're gonna meet. You might meet a freaking high net worth real estate agent, a 6-figure, 7-figure profitable trader in the market. You know what I mean? Real estate mogul, billionaire, maybe, who knows? Especially where I work. My restaurant is in the city center of where I live right now. And I already can tell that this place is going to be popping. I mean, they tell me that next month in August is going to be, it's just coming up, by the way, it's fast. It's going to be a busy season. So I'm like ready and prepared. And I'm like, bro, I've been back in Las Vegas, as y'all know, I've been in one of the most highest like in hospitality places on the planet. You know what I mean? Like where your standards gotta be high, 5-star, 5 diamond. If you haven't told already, is where I worked at previously. Not trying to flex or nothing. I'm just saying, it really sharpens you to become a great worker. And realize another great thing about this hospitality game thing: when you work at the top of the top restaurants, top of the top nightclubs, wherever you are in the world, that experience goes long far. If you have to decide to change your environment, you got to go somewhere. I'm telling you, your experience is another point that I'm going to lead on to, right? The reason why is because you get the experience. You get to learn the technical mechanics, what to do in high pressure situations, how to navigate. And the reason why I talk about these points as I'm talking right now, I'm rambling, by the way, so this is just me going. Whether it's a great video or not, I don't care, all right? Anybody that's a new subscriber, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this content. I'm just on a heater right now, all right? So boom. It's the technical skills, the networking, forcing yourself to be social. Guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Like, I watch videos about how people talk about social dynamics, how as men we should interact with women, you know what I mean, or how like we should be as society. But then I'm like, yo, like, in these times, bro, like you really gotta hustle, you know what I'm saying? And I believe that anybody that's working hospitality, view it as a beneficial thing, because the coworkers I work with, and I'm not saying all of them are bad, maybe some of them might come across this video, and if you are, what's up? Shouts out to y'all. I fuck with y'all. Y'all was cool people, even though we never really hung out, took it any further than that. Shouts out to y'all. I respect y'all that you still hustling. Yeah, it gets tiring, at some point you want to leave, right? I mean, we all want financial freedom at the end of the day. That's what we're really working towards. But anybody that's looking to be in the hospitality game, that's already having the experience, this video applies to you, you know what I mean? Like, especially for people that are beginners in this stuff. Don't worry, because I'm telling you, this will naturally apply in real life. That's crazy. Hey, look, there's a cat. That's cool, man. Appeared out of nowhere, too. I gotta say something about this reality, y'all. The more I detach from all this stuff, and I don't attach myself to things, you know what I mean? Trying not to attach to my human, no attachment to people, all that. I learned the law of detachment. So I'm gonna make a video about that, a separate video about that if you guys want to check that out. But back to this hospitality thing, right? It gets you the experience. You build the network. And the further you go up, you know what I mean? You make money. I'm telling y'all, that's another part we're gonna get into, the money. See, a lot of people complain about like how, I mean, I've seen it and I totally get it. I mean, depending on what restaurant you work, I understand. You might work in a town, you might work within the city, but it's like a really local restaurant that's not really like, you get people here and there. Now, don't get me wrong, there are diners, old school diners. Like there's one out here that's popping, busy all the time, you know what I mean? And I know they make pretty good money in the daytime, But yeah, it's like, guys, the money wise, if you put yourself out there, the grooming, all that stuff, right? Oh my God, okay, you know what? We'll get back to what we're talking about. So let's talk about the grooming then instead. So with the grooming, that's another great thing. It forces you and disciplines you to do your hair, get a haircut. At the job that I worked at the Win, they tell you that you have to have a certain fingernail length. You know what I mean? It really like polishes you up to look good. You know what I mean? Because you have to look good in front of the guests, especially when you're in a high-end restaurant or if you're in a high-end club. You know what I mean? Jobs like that, they don't hire ugly people, and I'm you know what I mean? They hire people that look good, people that look decent. You know what I mean? If you're a decent looking guy, they're gonna hire you. The look matters, right? Because you're in front of the guests. So you apply that into the real world. So all this alludes to applying this in the real world. That is the biggest benefit I've ever seen in hospitality, in my opinion, that I've learned. Is it really you apply these skills that you learn, like your psychology, your social awareness, your situational awareness, right? Those are other great benefits of this job. The reason why I'm listing those, and I'm not really going into detail because I don't want this video to go on too long, but those are great benefits, y'all. Like, I don't see people really talking about how hospitality is beneficial in a way. The money wise, it's only temporary, you know what I mean? And that's why I was like, yo, I already have the skills, and I've been doing, you know what I mean? My dad was a server, you know what I mean? He's still a server to this day, and nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? You make great money. In Vegas, when you're a server at the top end restaurants, y'all, to anybody that's never been to Vegas or not from Vegas, you know what I mean? I'm not in Vegas, by the way. I've completely relocated elsewhere, right? You go make money. If you put yourself out there, they are hiring, you know what I mean? You gotta look, you gotta apply. It's going, you know what I mean? People are gonna complain about it, like, man, I applied to so many jobs and this and that. Well, keep going. Instead of bitching about it online, I'm sorry, y'all. This is full transparency to me. Just keep going. Don't make excuses, because I was like, I was the very one person that made excuses in my life too. But look where I'm at. I took a big risk in life to get to where I'm at. I secured a job pretty fast. I talked to the right people and let the Most High do his thing. At the end of the day, y'all, like, for real, you got to let the God, your universe, whatever you believe in, I call him God, the Most High, do his thing to set your life up. Let him take control to a degree, or not even to a degree, overall. Actually, what am I saying, to a degree? No, you got to take control of your life completely. You know what I mean? You got to fight. He is going to test you in certain things, right? Like how I excessively smoke, right? It's one of the bad habits that I've always had. And, I ain't gonna lie, it's times at work that I hit it. But other than that, enough with the rambling, all right? Yeah. that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace out, and finish up the vlog here.